Most people chase evolution through accumulation. They pile on habits, stack goals, and overload their schedules. But true cognitive optimization begins with radical reduction. Beneath your conscious awareness, invisible psychological leaks are draining your mental bandwidth, hijacking your neural pathways, and reshaping your identity. Left unchecked, these patterns freeze you into a default version of yourself. To reclaim your mind, you must quietly eliminate these elements without a word to anyone. First, dismantle the desperate craving for external comprehension. What behavioral science classifies as social validation dependency is actually a sensory trap where your peace is held hostage by someone else's perspective. The moment you accept that the majority will never truly decode your trajectory, you stop negotiating your emotional value. Your energy consolidates, and your silence becomes an unshakable boundary. Next, eradicate the subconscious guilt of outgrowing your social circle. This friction is identity dissonance, a natural byproduct of your evolution clashing with the static memory others hold of you. When they claim you have changed, they are documenting your progress. Never apologize for outpacing an environment that was designed for an older version of you. Cease the compulsive habit of over-explaining your choices. Neurobiologically, the urge to justify yourself triggers a cascade of stress hormones born from a primal fear of ostracization. In adulthood, this manifests as emotional leakage. You do not owe the world a schematic of your logic. Speak less. Let your actions create an enigmatic void, because human psychology naturally respects what it cannot fully categorize. Sever the umbilical cord of uncontrolled digital consumption. Your dopamine-driven reward system was never built to process an infinite scroll of artificial stimuli. This synthetic overload desensitizes your neural receptors, making objective reality feel agonizingly dull. The remedy isn't a dramatic digital detox, but a silent purge. Mute, unfollow, and restrict your inputs without making an announcement. Protect your attention as if your cognitive survival depends on it. Walk away from dead-end conversational loops. Most individuals participate in dialogue not to absorb data, but to prepare their next monologue. This conversational narcissism leaves you mentally depleted and fundamentally unseen. Stop pouring intellectual currency into empty vessels. When you choose the depth of silence over the anxiety of shallow chatter, your internal voice finally regains its clarity. Shed the exhausting fear of appearing uninteresting. This anxiety is driven by impression management, a continuous cognitive tax where you alter your frequency to secure belonging. When you stop performing, you unlock an unrefined authenticity. Ironically, this lack of trying generates a profound social magnetism. Serenity is attracted to those who refuse to audition for attention. Stop fabricating the illusion of closure. We pursue answers to resolve cognitive dissonance, desperately trying to fix a chaotic world with a neat narrative conclusion. But reality is full of unfinished chapters, abrupt exits, and unpunished injustices. True psychological resilience isn't about finding the missing piece of the puzzle. It's developing the capacity to move forward without it. Banish punitive self-criticism masquerading as ambition. Your internal monologue dictates your neural architecture. Data indicates that self-flagellation spikes cortisol levels, which effectively paralyzes the prefrontal cortex and prevents you from integrating lessons from your mistakes. Growth cannot be engineered out of self-loathing. Shift your internal vocabulary from judgment to objective observation. Finally, uproot the exhausting compulsion to prove your human worth. This destructive engine typically stems from conditional praise experienced early in development, where your value was tied strictly to performance rather than existence. Consequently, you became an achievement addict chasing validation. Real psychological sovereignty begins when you realize your right to rest, breathe, and exist requires zero external justification. As you systematically extract these anchors, your brain enters a profound state of neurochemical recalibration. Initially, your mind will resist the quiet, misinterpreting the unfamiliar absence of chaos as danger. But as the static clears, your cognitive bandwidth expands. You transition from erratic reaction to deliberate execution. Your neural networks stop craving hyperstimulation and begin rewarding clarity. Your decisions become surgical. Isolation turns into a powerful asset, and for the first time, your mind is entirely your own.